And unfortunately, it is a bit of a troublesome commute on the QEW Toronto bound. If you haven't heard already, we are dealing with a closure on the QEW Toronto bound, essentially through Vineland into Beamsville. So this is just east of St. Catharines. A live look from the scene where the QEW Toronto bound is closed at Victoria Avenue. That's where traffic is being forced off the highway. Had a very serious collision that took place several hours ago. So the investigation continues. Now, the service roads can be used as alternate to get back on the highway from Ontario Street. King Street to the south as well of the QEW can also be used. Let me show you some of the backup. It is a sea of red lights. Definitely delays on the approach. This is a look at our 7th Street camera. So really give yourself that extra drive time in this vicinity. And it looks as though if we are heading around the region elsewhere, just a couple of live lane minor issues, nothing else that's too serious. So let's check in with OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt because he has more info about this issue. I will send it over to you, Nick and Jen.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for that update, Lisa. And as you mentioned, let's bring in OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt now with regards to this crash that happened on the QEW near Beamsville. Sergeant, what can you tell us happened here, and is the scene cleared up yet? How much of a delay are we looking at?
No, we're a long ways away from reopening, unfortunately. Just after midnight, there was actually road maintenance crews that were actually filling potholes in the left lane along the QEW Toronto bound approaching Ontario Street, Beamsville. There was blocker trucks and vehicles protecting the scene in the left lane and the middle lane, and around 12:30, a transport truck plowed into the back of that last sign truck, trapping the truck driver, the 22-year-old truck driver from Kitchener. In that vehicle, he sustained life-threatening injuries, and as a result of that collision, threw that vehicle forward, striking one of the workers, a 39-year-old woman, one of the maintenance workers that was out fixing potholes, striking her, resulting in also serious injuries to her. Both of those people have been taken to hospital. The truck driver is in most serious condition at this time, considered life-threatening. The female road maintenance worker is in hospital with serious injuries. There was a significant diesel spill as well on the highway, which is going to require extensive cleanup as well. There's really debris all across the area. All lanes of the QEW are currently blocked at Victoria Avenue. The crash happened a little closer to Ontario Street in Beamsville, but again, a very unfortunate circumstance here with the cleanup crews that were ongoing, trying to keep these highways nice and smooth. And we normally don't have pothole repairs here in January, but with this temperature, it's working out well. And unfortunately, we're dealing with a significant closure now, which will likely take possibly close till noon before all lanes are reopened.
Wow. Okay, so another 5 hours. And Sergeant Schmidt, based on the hours we work here, we sort of drive by these things quite a bit. You talked about the truck driver. Can I just clarify, the driver of the transport truck, were there any injuries to that driver, and or is that person facing any charges right now?
Yeah, that's the person with life-threatening injuries in hospital. So that's the truck driver. I don't believe there was significant injuries to the operator of that sign truck. Or we call it a crash truck. That was sitting there blocking the area. It was blocking the second lane, and then the other injured person was that female worker that was outside of all the vehicles that was outside actually fixing those potholes.
Okay, really appreciate that clarification. OPP Sergeant Schmidt, we will check back with you if we can get some more updates. But again, that section of the QEW Toronto bound looking like it's closed till noon. Thanks, Sergeant Schmidt there.
Thank you.